Hello, this is Anna Pacheco with SantaFe101.com. My guest today is Stephen Chavira, and he is the Executive Director of the Grant County Silver City Chamber of Commerce. Stephen, do I have your permission to record this interview?
Yes, Anna, absolutely.
Oh, good. I've been to Silver City a few times. My son, when he was back in high school, back in the early 2000, he graduated in 2013 from St. Michael's. We used to go out to Silver City for him to play football with your team out there, and so I'm a
Right.
little familiar. I had a friend who was worked at the university out there, so I've been to Silver City a few times, and I think it's it's a little hidden secret. I had no idea how beautiful it was there. But tell us a little bit. I know you're very well versed in the city, what the attractions of the city, but tell me
Sure.
in particular about the chamber and what are some of the things that you provide or you could help with in the event that somebody might be watching this video and they're thinking of maybe retiring in your area and they want to start a business or they have a business they want to transfer over.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Anna. First of all, I appreciate you giving us this opportunity to chat with you and your listeners today. The Chamber of Commerce here in Silver City, one of our primary missions is to promote tourism and as well as commerce in Grant County. And we speak at length every single day to people who are looking to either relocate here or to visit here and to talk about what all that we have to offer is a joy that we have personally every single day because as you know, Grant County, as you said, is one of the hidden gems in this part of the world. We are the gateway to the Gila Wilderness, and the Gila Wilderness is its own treasure trove of activities. You can hike, you can get out into the wilderness, you can see wildlife, you can camp, fish. There's so many things to do. And being right here in Silver City, we are at the doorstep of all of that. And we have awesome seasons, but very mild winters. And so you can pretty much get out there into the wilderness every single day of the year, and it would be a comfortable endeavor.
And I know that in the past, you have promoted Silver City as a retirement community. I mean, people retire out in your area.
Sure, people retire here. We've got a really in-depth network of elderly care workers and caregivers. Our hospital is top notch. All the medical providers that we have are very, very strong. And so I think our senior community is one that is very strong and very well cared for because of all that we have to offer. And so, yeah, whether you're retiring, coming out here to start a new life and a second half of your life after retirement, or just want to get out here and commune with one and be one with nature, this is a great place to be.
Well, let's speak a little bit about, you have a university out there too. So from an intellectual standpoint, there's ways to enhance your mind. There are things, you can take classes. I mean, that's one of the things I think I liked. I think why I believe that Silver City is kind of a cool little place is because you also have a university. So speak to
Yes.
us about that a little bit.
Well, the university is one of our biggest advantages to the community because they do offer a wide range of educational opportunities, cultural opportunities, and really just ways that you can be involved within the community. They really keep a pulse on what's going on historically here. And so between Western and their Cultural Arts Center and the museum here, you really can spend a lot of time getting into, from an educational standpoint, what the inner workings are of our community and the history. There's a very rich history when it comes to New Mexico that this part of the region has to offer. We just celebrated our, it's called the Territorial Charter Day, which is February 15th, 1878. And we are excited about that because we are the only community in the state of New Mexico that still recognizes its founding charter. And so there's a lot of history here, but the university is instrumental in making sure that everybody knows what it's all about and offers lots of classes and opportunity to learn.
And the official name, it's called Western New Mexico University. Is that
Western New Mexico University, correct.
Now, let's go back to, so it's Silver City. So I have to assume that they used to mine silver in your area.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It was, what happened was there was a group of miners that were working in another area in southern Colorado, and they heard of a prospect that had been located in southwestern New Mexico. And as of that point, it had not been developed. So they came over here to set up their homestead, and they found a lot of rich silver in the hills here. What they did then is, obviously they founded that territory. It became Silver City. That wasn't the official name, and you're going to ask me what it was, and I can't tell you off the top of my head. But it was founded on that. They then found that we had a lot of copper in our ground here, and so our primary industry right now is copper. And Freeport-McMoRan runs obviously the largest copper mine in the state, but a very, very rich operation with two sizable open pit copper mines here in Grant County.
And in terms of mining, does it? Well, I know I've actually driven through there, and you can see the strip mining if you come through the mountains. That's another thing that that's why you're a hidden gem. It's kind of hard to get to you. You kind of go up this like long, you have to go really slow, and it's this long winding hill up the mountain. And I remember seeing like rams in the mountains. It was like it was a trip trying to find Silver City. So well,
we're not a pass-through community. We are a destination community. And you know, if you drive through Silver City, all you're going to do is make a loop and come back through, because it is a destination community. You can get to Arizona from southern New Mexico through here. It's off the beaten path, but for the most part, people are here because they want to be here.
And that was the other thing I liked about it too, is I think you're only 3 hours from Tucson. You're not too far. And that was the other, to me, that was kind of an advantage in the sense that Las Cruces is just an hour away, maybe, which is
Las Cruces is an hour and a half away. We're two and a half hours away from El Paso, which is one airport. We're 3 hours away from Tucson. But because of the service that we provide here, we have a nonstop flight from here to Phoenix, from here to Albuquerque, and we can get you to Las Vegas, Bakersfield, or Taos easily from our
airport. You have an airport, so you have a small airport. See, I did not know that. So you actually have a small airport that can link you to some of the major airports. So you have, you have regular flights every day, or how often do they
they have, well, during COVID, it's a little bit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was going to say. Let's not talk about COVID, because things are going to go back to normal.
They are going to go back. But, you know, our Lieutenant Governor, Howie Morales, is from Silver City. He actually resides here and travels between here and Santa Fe, as do our other legislators and city dignitaries. They travel to Santa Fe regularly by air, and it's an easy thing to do.
It sounds a lot faster than doing that long, curly road.
45 minutes.
But in terms, let's get back to the mining again, Sue. So I mean, I do remember seeing some strip mining going on, or some of the terrain. But once you get into Silver City, you don't ever see that, right? I mean, it's not like you're not aware. You're not in a community and say, "Oh my God, there's mining going on all around me." You don't really see that.
Well, you can see it from Silver. You can see the Santa Rita open pit mine from Silver and its tailings from a distance. You can also, at certain vantage points, see into the Tyrone open pit mine. You can't see into the mine, but you can see the mine and its tailings. And it's a presence here, but it's not like, I mean, the community is very, very diverse. So while we have a really deep artistic community, we have a very strong business community, and our mining community is also very well represented here. So you know, it's not like you know, you're in a coal mine town in northern Pennsylvania, and that's all you see around you. It's a very diverse community.
And in terms of, and I do remember this too, you had great restaurants for a town that small in the middle of nowhere. I was so impressed with the different restaurants and just how they really were. I mean, just in terms of like different, pairing wines. And I mean, you see all that stuff here in Santa Fe, because we're like a big tourist travel destination. But I saw a good amount of that in your area, in Silver City. So I was impressed. And again, I think I attribute all of that back to the university, because you get people to work at the university who are coming from other parts of the country or world. So they kind of add to that cosmopolitan little flair that you.
Well, and the way that we always look at that is that, the mine hires one person, and that person has a spouse and they have children. The university hires a person, and that person has a spouse and they have children. So they've got to have some well-rounded offerings in order to make sure that that family and that the family of that employee are happy and feeling like they've got a good quality of life as well. The good thing about being a community like ours, while we may not have the same demographic that Santa Fe or Albuquerque or another populous city does, we have a really strong need and business sector of homegrown, locally owned businesses. And so I can think of one restaurant in town that uses their locally owned and they use locally raised grass-fed beef on their menu, and it is fantastic.
And so, but before we talk about like the different types of businesses there, I'm assuming that the largest employers are the uranium mine and the university. Would those be the two largest employers you have there?
Well, it's a copper mine. Yeah, so
Oh, copper, I'm
they
sorry,
are the
copper,
largest.
uranium. What do I know? Copper, I'm
That's
sorry.
okay. That's okay. But yeah, it's the copper mine, Freeport McMoran. Western is also a large employer. And then beyond that, we have other mid-size employers who the hospital is one, Gila Regional Medical Center, Hidalgo Medical Center, or Medical Services, as well as our first responders. We've got a very strong first responder network here in Grant County.
And when you say first responders, you're talking EMT and firemen, or who else?
Yeah, Grant County Sheriff's Department, the Silver City Sheriffs, the Marshals, all the way through the county are very well represented here, EMTs and firefighters alike.
And why is that? Why do you have such a strong showing in your area?
Well, the thing is that when somebody comes into this town, for example, we have a gentleman who and his family, they are the firefighters around the Mimbres area, down through as you get closer to the Gila Wilderness. But they are also the medical examiners and make sure that they have that part of the world covered. But they are also location scouts for Hollywood. So people come out here and realize that it's not necessarily just one stream of income that they've got to have or want to have, but they diversify themselves. So there's a lot that is offered here. And somebody, they have a love for the wilderness and they want to go out hunting and trapping and tracking and outfitting people, but they also feel a need to serve their community. So they work as a firefighter or an EMT in their off hours. The Forest Service is also very big here, and there's a lot of that.
What is a location scout for Hollywood? Scout for Hollywood. How does that work?
Well, it's just amazing because they are out there in the community and the wilderness all the time. They're looking at the right places where a Hollywood movie can be shot. And there's a lot of movies that have been shot in southern New Mexico over the last 20 years. And
name some names. Give me some examples.
Well, okay, Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull movie that was filmed in near Deming. Gosh, there's all kinds of movies. I can't think of them off the top of my head. But if you go to the IMDb website, you'll be able to see those movies that are filmed in this area. That's a big part of our industry. And the location scouts, you want to get out someplace where you're not going to have truck traffic, or you're not going to have a whole lot of airplane traffic. You're going to want to have clear skies and a rustic nature to a natural scene rather than having to build it on a soundstage. That's what we offer.
And you don't want to have like telephone poles and wires and things. If it's a movie based in the early 1800s, we didn't have all that back then.
That's right.
And so let's get back to the retirement again. You mentioned the hospital and the two different medical facilities there. So that would also be a selling point for retirees, because usually when you're older, you do have to have better medical care. And the fact that I didn't know you had an airport there. That's another selling point, in the sense that people can, if they had to, they can be air vac'd out to a Tucson or El Paso, to a major hospital if they needed that. And then let's get back to, so like, if you're an entrepreneur, like what types of businesses have been able to make a go of it in, small businesses in Silver City? And then the second part of that question is, what are you lacking, or what would you like to see as the head of your chamber? What type of businesses would really help to enhance what already exists in Silver City?
Certainly. Well, So in an area like ours, where we have a lot of outdoor activity and we have a lot of open sky and wilderness, um, you would understand that the tourism and the hospitality industries are a mainstay and what we want to cater to. So we have a lot of people that open restaurants or souvenir shops or locally flavored products that let people remember their time here in Grant County. So that's one of the things that we have a lot of. And but we have businesses in town that are you know, Southwestern flavored food. You know, there's a lot of different offerings that we have when you look at it. Now, as the head of the chamber, what I would say is, would I like to have more of that? Absolutely. I'd love to have more offerings from, you know, something along the lines of like a Chick-fil-A or a Grandy's or, you know, restaurants like that. We have been in talks with other statewide restaurants, franchise that are looking to move into this area, and we're excited for those opportunities and the possibilities that could come with that. But what I always say, and what I try to instill in people, is the confidence that if you have an idea for a business or a product, just start it. You can get it. We have a lot that we offer to help businesses get off the ground. We have a lot of ideas, a lot of brainstorming. We have one business in town that they were really just doing as a hobby, making their own jerky. They went hunting. They went and harvested their own meat and started making jerky, and people loved it. They shared it with their friends, and they retired themselves from the company that they worked for and opened their jerky store. And their jerky is wonderful. We get a lot of requests from people, you know, to send it out to them, or, hey, next time you come back to town, can you bring some of that jerky? Local people have great ideas. They have great business ideas. And our job is to help nurture and cultivate those ideas to get them off the ground into fruition.
And do you provide marketing support, or what? How do you network? I mean, how do you get one business to say, "Hey, you should contact this business," because you two kind of complement each other? What do you do in terms of all that?
Well, I find myself in the role of matchmaker in a lot of ways, and really making sure that business A knows who business B is so they can work together. But one of the things that we're doing is we are partnered with a couple of other local organizations, our Council of Governments, the Southwestern Council of Governments, and also a company called nonprofit. It's Southwest New Mexico Arts, Culture, and Tourism. And we're offering a program that is called Co-Starters. And Co-Starters is a program that is based out of Tennessee, and it is a 360-degree intensive, all-inclusive training program for entrepreneurship. So it takes you from the concept of your business all the way up through to actually networking, getting out there. We help people with their business plan. We help them with their the profit plans, make sure that they're selling it right. And so that's a program that we've done. And in the last, since COVID started, but in the last 11 months, we have launched about 25 businesses through Co-Starters. They also have a restart program, which takes existing businesses and helps them revamp and retool their business to get it off the ground. And then there's a generator program, which is another component of that same program, but it works teaching entrepreneurship to high school age students. So there's a lot of support and a lot of activity towards entrepreneurship here in Grant County. And the Chamber is very, very honored to be a part of all of that.
Do you offer like a relocation package or something, or do you connect people with realtors, or what do you do for somebody who's going to do it? They're going to move out to your area, and how do you help them out initially?
Well, yes, 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 and here's how. We have a complete relocation package, as well as a complete visitors packet, that when somebody calls and says, I'm thinking about visiting Grant County next summer, can you send me some information? Through a partnership that we have with Western New Mexico University as our marketing sponsor, as well as some of our chamber sponsors, what we do is we send them a packet via first class mail of probably a packet this thick of marketing materials. And it talks about banks, it talks about resources, it talks about programs, cultural options that are available, so that they know if they want to call and get more information, or before they even get here, they already know kind of what we have to offer. And so we probably send maybe 20 of those out a month to people who are looking to move and visit. And all they've got to do is go onto our website at silvercity.org and request the information, and we'll send it right out.
Okay. And what do you have any bike rental companies in your little town?
We do. We have 2 bike rental companies in town, Gila Hike and Bike, and oh gosh, I lost the other name. Forgive me.
Well,
You can
that's
edit
just
that
one.
part out.
And then what about
But
guides to the
we do.
Gila? Do you have like people that can take you trekking? Because if I was visiting an area like that, again, I'm not an outdoorsy type anyway, but I'd want a guide because I don't know what I'm doing, you know?
We do. We have groups that are outfitters and help get you where you need to be. Some will actually go out and get you started, drop you off and get you started and pick you up after a certain period of time. Others will actually go out and get you all the way out there. One of our new companies that we started with our co-starters program is have you ever heard the word glamping? It's an all-inclusive camping ground where you can get out there and basically not ever have to leave your campground if you don't want to, but they got food, activities, all kinds of fun stuff. You can go on day hikes and day trips, and they help you through the whole process. So yeah, there's a lot that is offered for that.
It sounds like it'd be attractive to younger people with young families. That sounds great.
Yes.
And you have a spa out there too. You have hot springs, if I'm not mistaken.
We have several hot springs. Absolutely.
Right. So so there's masseuses out in your area too, right?
There are masseuses. There are, you can come out here and start your day off with a morning hike out into the wilderness, see a bobcat or, whatever wildlife is out there. Come back in, get your hair done, get your nails done, have a massage, and then go out and eat a locally grown dinner and see a really fantastic cultural event with, flamenco guitar or some other kind of local flavor music that is offered. There is so much to offer here that certainly 1 or 2 days is not enough to experience it all.
It sounds like you're going to be competition for Santa Fe, my hometown. Sounds like a competition. We're at the end of the interview. Is there anything else, Stephen Chavira, that you want to just add at the very end? Because I'm going to end the interview now.
Well, thank you, Anna. I appreciate Santa Fe 101 giving us this opportunity. They can reach me directly at at silvercity.org anytime. And we love to hear from people who want to visit. We love to hear from people who have been here before and are anxious to come back. We're always available. And as our mission says, we want to promote tourism and economics around Grant County anytime.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.